The next thing we're going to do is lift on the third count, as we talked about in one of our articulation rules. This is in 3/4, so we're going to place most of the lifts on that third count.
All things shall perish from under the sky.
And that was very exaggerated, which is where we have to start for them to understand that lift. We would refine that quite a bit. Then we're going to go to the next section and use our dotted note rule. Alone shall live. And when we have that, we're going to reach on shall, because it's the 8th note following the dotted note, shall live, and we're going to pull into the word live. I'm going to ask them to pretend that they have picked something up off of the table and are holding it up like this. So if you will reach and set it up here, shall live, and make sure you place it gently on the shelf. Okay, start right on that phrase with a B, please. Music alone shall live.
Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live.
And we can get the stretch. That way we have renewed and we have made certain that the 8th note is actually grouped with the note that follows instead of being grouped with the dotted quarter note that precedes it. There are several other things that we can also do to this piece. As we said earlier, we need to set all phrases up so that we leave off at one place and begin the next place the same way. However, in this piece, we want to begin at that particular spot fairly loud, and we've ended up with a diminuendo at the end of the other. We're going to treat this as if it's General Lee on the Dukes of Hazzard. And on the dotted half note, we're going to romp on the accelerator, become airborne by adding a crescendo. For the N learner, if we talk about General Lee, they understand what we're saying. For the S learner, we have to talk about the crescendo. Beginning, please, G sharp.
All things shall perish from under the sky. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Never to die.
We have a diphthong at the end of this piece on the word die. In order to place just the right length of time on that diphthong, we're going to pretend that we untwisted the tie on a loaf of bread. Will you sing the last phrase and untwist the bread with me as we do that to put the diphthong? Never?
Never to die.
That gets just enough of the diphthong there so that we get the vowel placed where it belongs. In addition to that, we're going to do one more thing with this piece. You've noticed that we've already done several things. We have a sequential pattern. On that sequential pattern, we could treat it several different ways. We could start out on Music Alone Shall Live by singing loudly and gradually getting softer.
Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live.
That's one of our choices. Obviously, a second choice would be to gradually get louder. A third choice would be to make a statement, reaffirm that statement very strongly, and then come back very soft but intense to make sure that you understand exactly what we mean.
Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live.
And we make our musical choices according to taste.